Every time I get online looking for information on something, I run into some guy that's trying to get me to subscribe, and he starts beating around the bush and everything. I would say you're watching this video because you're wondering if an air compressor like this is worth having. This is a Vevor. A little Vevor PCP air compressor. Is it worth having? Yes, it is. For personal use, like filling up your own tanks, your own paintball guns, and stuff like that. For commercial use, probably not. So now the story behind this. I found it at an outlet store, Deal Smart outlet store in West Virginia. In this box, had return written on the box. I was able to get it for $75, but it didn't work. And just in case somebody runs into the same issue I did, I thought I'd make this video. Now, there were some things that were not in the box. I had to find one of these power cords that it didn't have in there. I don't know if it was the customer that returned it or if it never was in there, but I had one of those laying around and I needed that. It didn't come with instructions either. It did come with this little bag of accessories, which I ended up needing right away. That's what was wrong with it. Cables to connect it to a battery. It runs off 12 volts, and it comes with this 12-volt power supply. So you plug that cord that I had to come up with into there. That goes to your house 110-volt outlet. And then this plugs right into there. As soon as you plug it in, the cooling fan comes on. But the compressor does not until you hit this switch. Came with an air line with a separator on that end, but it didn't come with instructions. So we'd turn it on, seemed like everything was fine. There was a little bit of air coming out of here, but it would not build pressure. Since I didn't have instructions, I didn't know exactly what I was looking at, but this right here contains a burst disc, and I don't think that was installed correctly in the beginning. It was threaded. The burst disc was all wound up in the threads, and it was not sealing, and that's why it wasn't allowing any pressure to build up here. And that's where the little bag of accessories comes in. There's a variety of parts in there, but those little brass looking circles are burst disc. You unthread this, make sure they're seated in there correctly, and that fixed it. And it pumped this up 3,000 psi tank to just under 3,000 psi relatively quickly. That's why I say for home use, I'd get it, even for the $160 or so on Amazon. You know, to fill up your air rifle tanks at home. You don't have to depend on somebody else to do it. It's worth it. When you plug it in, the fan comes on immediately. You have to hit this switch when you're ready to turn on the compressor. Airline, burst disc, pressure release. Make sure you do that before you try to disconnect the airline. You have to turn this off manually when you reach the pressure that you want on your tank. It just so happened when I got to almost 3,000 on the tank, I was at the top of the green on this gauge. You have to watch the temperature. I didn't have instructions, but I think they say not to let this get above 70 or 80 Celsius. Celsius is what it shows here. I don't think it got above maybe a little over 40 in the time it took me to do 3,000 PSI on this little tank. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching.